John Deering, and I'm really happy to say I'm joined on the phone by Steve Mulry. He's presently the lead singer of TMG, or the Ted Mulry Gang. Hello, Steve. Thanks for joining us here on Connect FM.
Hey, John. It's great to be here, mate. How are you?
Fantastic, and it's so good to see you guys releasing new music.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I never thought would happen, and I'm really glad that it has. It's a dream come true for me.
I can imagine.
Being a part of it, it's terrific.
Well, as I was just saying then, everybody in the band, except for, unfortunately, Ted, is the original guys, aren't they?
Yes, that's correct. Les Hall, Gary Dixon, and Herman Kovac are the original members, and they're still in the band. And the only difference, again, is that I don't play bass guitar, and Ted was the bass player. So Tony Mitchell from Sherbet is the bassist, has been for the last 5 years.
Yeah, and that was probably that's good because people will go along and see something that they're used to seeing. I mean, let's classic example, Little River Band. I mean, if you went to America to see Little River Band, you would see nobody from the original band.
No one that you know.
No, but the problem is they keep saying over there how much they're. I even believe they come out and say hello. Hello from Australia or something. I don't know.
Wow.
Isn't it terrible? So, the early history of that band was, so it started in 1970, that's right, isn't it?
The band itself didn't start till 72. Ted started in 1970 as a soloist and had the hit Julia.
Yeah.
The next one, of course, was by Vander and Young, which was Falling in Love Again.
Yeah. And
the band didn't form until very late, 1972. So just past the 50-year mark. So it's Ted always wanted to be in a band situation, really, rather than a soloist.
Well, they pretty much, so most of the guys at the start, I think, were his backing band or something at some stage.
Yeah, so what happened, there was a band knocking around there from Newcastle. The band was called Velvet Underground. Of course, there's another Velvet Underground in America. That was Lou Reed's band. But the Australian Velvet Underground, they used to play similar gigs to Ted, and he'd be on as a soloist, and they'd be on, and they'd notice that he'd have different musicians playing with him, every few gigs because he didn't have an actual backing, anybody backing him normally. So it was Herman Kovac who basically suggested to Ted that, why don't you just let us be your backing band? That was Velvet Underground. And he said, oh, yeah, that'd be great. Anyway, then they decided to make it an actual band, and one of the members of the band was Malcolm Young. And so he, had ideas of making another band as well. I can't remember the name. They're really...
I wonder if anybody's got an A and a C and a D and, that one. That one.
Yeah. So Malcolm went that way, and Herm Kovac and Les Hall went the other way, and they formed TMG. They were a bass, but they were a four-piece for a while, and then the bass player left, and Ted became the bass player, and off they went until Gary Dixon joined.
Right. Well, you know what? I reckon we have a break. We have a listen to... I still think this is such a great song, and I don't know where it went in the charts, but Falling in Love Again, it was one of those songs that everybody would actually loves to listen to. I'm just trying to see if I can find the chart position. But
it's a beautiful song.
Oh, it's gorgeous. You know what? It actually went to number 7 on the Australian chart. So
right. Let's
have a listen to it, and we'll come back and chat some more. My guest is Steve Mulry from the band TMG.
It's talked about, it's knowing looks, it's sung in songs and read in books. It's everywhere around the world. It happens every day. Falling in love again. Falling in love again. I lost my heart again in a wonderful world of my own. It's wondering it starts and then it grows. They realize and then they know that feeling's got a name. It's falling in love again. Falling in love again. I lost my heart again in a wonderful world of my own. Falling in love again. Falling in love again.
It is 100.9 Connect FM. This is Reeling in the Years with John Deering. My guest is Steve Mulry from the band TMG. And you're right, that is such a great song and beautiful music written by Vander and Young, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard a bad track from those guys.
No, look at JPY and look at all that stuff. I mean,
yep. In fact, not long ago, before you called, I was listening to St. Peter. Remember the song St. Peter by Flash in the Pan?
Oh, what a good song. Hey,
That's
St.
a great
Peter,
song.
when you're playing the bell.
Yeah, that's the
See,
one.
unfortunately, I know them because I'm old.
Me too.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to play us another track now from 71. This is probably Ted by himself again, Marcia. He likes girls, didn't he?
That's a relief, isn't it? Yes, he does. He seems to have a penchant for girls like Julia and Marcia and Louisa. And, yeah, I don't know where those girls are now, but the songs came out all right.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll have a listen to this and we'll come back and then we'll talk about some of the hits that the guys had as TMG, and we'll come back with his Marcia here on Connect FM.
You have your reasons for all that you do. By now you should know what I've been through. And I have my reasons for loving you. But one little smile would make it worthwhile. Again, Marcia. Oh, Marcia, don't let me down again, Marcia. Oh. You love another, I've still got time. Wait for the day you say you'll be mine. Reasons for loving you, but that one little smile would make it worthwhile. Oh, Marcia, you're bringing me down again, Marcia. Oh, Marcia, don't let me down again, Marcia. You're bringing me down again, Marcia. Oh, Marcia, don't let me down again, Marcia. Oh, Marcia, you're bringing me down again, Marcia. Oh, Marcia, don't let me
It is 100.9 Connect FM. My guest is Steve Mulry from the band TMG, or Ted Mulry Gang, and that one there was Marsha. Now, I'm going to ask you about the 50th anniversary album you guys have recorded. I bet you that's been a lot of fun, and with the first song out, tell us a bit about how the process happened.
Okay, well, I mean, yes, this new album, it over the last few years, because when TMG reformed in 2016 and I was asked to be a part of it, not long after that, Les Hall, the guitarist, started sending me some songs. He said, "What do you think of this? What do you think of that?" And I go, "Oh, yeah." He had like a drum machine and, he played the bass and the guitar on it and just on a 4-track recording. And I said, "Oh, yeah, that's good. Oh, this, that, and the other." And then he sent me another version of the same song and said, "Oh, I've changed lyrics here and I've done this." And this, I didn't think much of it. It went on over a period of time. And then he started sending me some songs, and they sounded a little bit more polished that he was doing at home. Mm-hmm. And he decided he wanted to, this is cutting a long story short, he decided he wanted to record an album himself, So he contacted Herman Kovac, obviously, who is the drummer in the band. And Herm has his own recording studio. And he said, "I want to do this." And Herm said, "Yeah, sure, come down." So he played the songs to Herm and said, "Okay, we'll start recording," and thinking about it. And then Herm said to him, "I tell you what, how about I play drums on it?" Because it was just a drum machine. Mm-hmm. He said, "How about I play drums on it? Maybe you get Steve in to sing the song. Why don't we also get Tony in to play bass, and Tony Mitchell?" And oh, yeah, okay. So we started recording, and after a couple of songs, Herm said to Les, "You know what? This could be a TMG album." and Les said, "Oh, really? Yeah, you reckon?" He said, "Oh, definitely." So that's when it sort of, it wasn't supposed to be originally a TMG album. It was a Les Hall album that he wanted to just, these are songs he'd written. He just wanted to have them recorded properly. And it ended up being what it is now, which is the new TMG album, which is actually, will be called when it comes out, It Is What It Is, Rock On.
Oh, that's a good name.
But the first single has just come out, a couple of weeks ago, La La, and I'm really happy with it. I think the album is great. It's still, you can hear it's still TMG, but it's a much fresher sound.
I agree. Actually, when we will have a listen to La La a bit later on, but I thought we'd go with one of my favourites, Darktown Strutter's Ball.
Ah, yes. I've got to tell a little story about that, if you don't mind.
Please do.
That song, the original writing of that song was from 1917. And we all remember 1917. Okay, so that's 106 years ago. But it was a jazz song. And it hasn't been recorded over the years by many people, but we don't hear much about it in Australia. But in 1976, I think it was Herm. I think it was a song that Herm's family his mother used to like, and Herm said to Ted, this would be a really good song if we rocked it, made it, slowed it down a little bit and rocked it up a bit. So they had to listen to it and said, "Oh, yeah." But it really only had one verse. Every version I've heard is like the same verse repeated twice or even 3 times. So what happened was Ted wrote a verse, like the second verse to the song. So if you listen to, as we are going to in a minute, listen to Darktown Strutter's Ball, the first verse and the last verse are the same, but the verse in the middle is different, and that's the one that Ted wrote. And so that's made it into the rock song that, did pretty well in the 70s.
Well, number 3 on the ARIA charts, or whatever it was called back then. It was called something slightly different then, and I can't remember. It's gone straight out of my head. So anyway, why don't we have a listen to it? And I'll be now listening to the second verse now. Now you've got me. You've made it. I've got to listen now. This is Connect FM. This is Steve Mulry. He's from the band TMG, and here's Darktown Strutter's Ball.
Get you in a taxi, honey. Pick you up about 8:30. Oh, honey.
here on 100.9 Connect FM, Reeling in the Years with John Daring. Steve Mulry is my guest from the wonderful TMG, and that is such a great song. And you were saying you might be a pop rock band on record, but at a concert it's a bit more rockier, isn't it?
It is. I think it surprises some people. They come along expecting just poppy rock songs, but no, we're definitely on stage. We're definitely a rock band. So a wolf in disguise,
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong, as I always say to people when I interview them, I said there's nothing wrong with a guitar or a drum. It's called real music. It's called real music. Now, this song went to number one, Jump in My Car. That must have been a terrific song. I still remember the film clip, actually. So what inspired that song? And is there any stories we need to know about this one?
Well, in regards to, I believe how that all came about, that song, it was when they were recording the album that song is on, which I think was, that was the Strutting album, I think. Here We Are.
Here We Are, yeah, I was about to say that. I'm cheating too.
Yeah, okay, I'm just trying to think. Because the first song off that album that they released was called Sunday Evenings, and then, but when they were writing that album,
yeah,
the producer said to them, "Look, you still, you need another song," and so Les said to Ted, "Look, I've got this riff I've been playing with. What do you think?" So he played it. Oh, yeah. So in the studio, they actually wrote the song. So it wasn't like they'd, had a lot of time. They just wrote it on the spot. So it came out of nowhere, basically. And I guess it was just the lyrical content probably came from some of Ted's past experiences, I would imagine, to some degree.
It's funny.
And I don't think that in this day and age you could probably release a song like that anymore. No,
although you do have good company, because the Bee Gees, of course, got told they needed a new song, and they caught the lift up and wrote that 1512 mining disaster song in the lift, apparently. So There you go. So they're good company there, isn't it?
Yeah, very, very good company, yeah, with the Bee Gees, yeah.
Why don't we have a listen to this song, Jump in My Car? It's a great classic hit, and if you can find the film clip on that, it's a quite good one, funny one to watch. And then we're going to come back and talk about this great new song. But here it is, Connect 100.9.
Jump in my car. I wanna take you home. Jump in my car. It's too far to walk on your own. No, thank you, sir. Come on, I'm a trustworthy guy. Thank you, sir. Oh, little girl, I wouldn't tell you no lie. No, you can't. How can you say that we only just met? Ooh, she's got me there, but I'll get her yet. Got you there. No, you didn't. I was catching my breath. And look, it's starting to rain, and baby, you catch your death. Come on, it costs nothing to try, and you'll arrive home nice and dry. Jump in my car. I wanna take you home. Come on, jump in my car. It's too far to walk on your own.
it is Reeling in the Years. That's Ted Mulry Gang and Jump in My Car. As I said, check out the film clip if you can. Steve Mulry is still with me. Well, Steve, we're up to the new single that came out the other day, and it's called, is it La La or L-A-L-A?
It's La La. And that track, as with the whole album, is written by Les Hall.
Yeah.
And that song, it's actually, look, it's a really happy tune, but the actual lyrical content's a little dark. And how Les wrote that was he was watching TV one night, and I don't know if it was documentary or something to that effect. He was watching something to do with the cartels in South America, and this song just sort of popped out of him after watching this show. And it's basically about a mother and a daughter, and what it's like being under the influence of these drug cartels. Basically, they're slaves to them, and so it's a little bit dark, the lyrics, but the tune's a happy tune, and it tells a bit of a story, and it's something. I did a bit of a different direction for TMG in that regard, but I love the song. It's my favourite track, actually. When we're talking about what songs we should release as a single off the album, that was my pick, and luckily everybody we played it to said the same thing. So there it is. It's released.
Definitely a TMG track. It's got some really good guitars in it. It's a really good track. Why don't we have a listen to it? We'll come back and have a final chat, okay? This is my guest. It's Steve Mulry. He's from TMG, and here's their current brand new song. And first song for a very long time. It's La La here on Connect.
It's always been the same. Just what you do.
And it's going to end. Oh, I love it when songs just end like that, Steve.
No fade out.
No fade out. Oh, finished. Okay, talk. Okay. That's TMG and a new song, La La. And Steve, thank you so much for joining us here on Connect FM. It's been absolutely terrific having a chat and sharing some Australian iconic music.
Yeah, thank you. And as I said, it's been a pleasure being on the show. Thank you very much.
Now, if people want to find out a bit more about your band, where should they look? I've already, it's easy, but I'll let you tell them.
Well, obviously, I mean, on if you want to go to the socials, I mean, there's the TMG page, the official page on Facebook. We don't have an actual Instagram page, for instance. I mean, I have my own Instagram page, Steve Mulry Rock Rebel, and my own music page as well, because I do more than just TMG. But TMG itself has its official page, and it has a new YouTube channel. There's not much on it at the moment, but there will be a lot more content going on there soon. So you go to YouTube and just look up Ted Mulry Gang. You should find it. And as I said, with anything that's coming up in regards to the band is on our Facebook page anyway.
Great.
You know, that's the best place to find it. And our website, which is tedmulrygang.com.
There you go. Hey, thanks so much, Steve, for joining us here on Connect FM again. Lovely chatting.
You're welcome. And just to let you know, we should be touring around from November onwards.
Okay, well, we'll keep an eye out for it, so that'll be good. And the album's have to be out in October, is that right?
Yeah, should be out by either late September or early October.
Well, I'll be keeping an eye out for both of those. Thanks again, mate, for joining us here on Connect FM in Sydney. It's lovely chatting.
Cheers, John. Take care.